pakialam kung ang gusto ho natin malaman ngayon at this point, kaya tayo nandito, ano ho nangyayari dyan?
Nagkalaglagan na sa loob ng Bilibid matapos gisahin ni Representative Erwin Tulfo si General Catapang kung ano na nga ba ang nangyayari kung bakit hindi pa rin nakikita ang nawawalang PDL. Dapat sabihin na ni General Catapang ang katotohanan dahil siya ang namumuno dito. Ang tanong ni Representative Erwin Tulfo, meron ba kayong tinatago dyan sa Bilibid? Ating panoorin ang buong detalye.
So wondering, I mean, we just want to find out the status of that inmate or that PDL that's missing. We don't want to hear actually, Mr. Chairman, what's going on inside the operations, and we can talk about it. You were just simply asking, we want to find out where is Mr. Cataroja at this point. Is he still alive? Is he dead? It's already in the news report, sir. I mean, Mr. Chair, there's nothing to hide. Give us the fact, okay, give us the truth. Is he dead? That's what we want to find out. Is he gone missing? Did he escape? Was he executed and buried in the septic tank? That's what we need. Wala ho kami pakialam kung ang gusto ho natin malaman ngayon at this point, kaya tayo nandito, ano ho nangyayari diyan? Nasaan po yung tao? Yun po yung concern natin. Siguro mamaya pwede niyo na ho ikwento na mga kung anong kinalaman diyan, bakit siya napatay, etc. All we want to find out, is he still alive? And I'm sure his family wants to know.
This presentation might be quite confidential in as much as this will divulge a lot of findings here. But I was comparing with our secretary if I will be allowed to present it in public in as much as these are secret documents. But if you will allow me, I can.
Are there security issues pertaining to the national security that can be divulged?
Not so much, but it
in
will.
that case, you can go ahead, sir.
It will affect our ongoing investigation. But for the purpose of being transparent, Your Honor, I'm willing to.
It's the pleasure of the body with regards to this. If Secretary Remulla.
Mr. Chairman, some of the matters that will be revealed are not being discussed openly by the Department of Justice because of the sensitivity of the information. And I think that there may be some matters that should only be revealed in executive session regarding this matter about this disappearance and the other things that transpired right after.
So, are you suggesting that we form an executive session for the members of this committee?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors. Hopefully, we can inform the members of the committee.
Thank you so much for that presentation, General Catapang. We know the audacious and the huge problem of the BUCOR with the meager budget that being given to the facilities. We know that you are trying to congest the budget in order to address the perennial and so many problems that confronting the Bureau. But this committee would like to dwell not on that issue primarily, because the function of this Committee on Public Order and Safety is to find out the criminal elements that are being perpetrated inside the penitentiary. And that's the reason why we conduct this motu proprio inquiry. To dwell more on this issue, we know that the problem confronting your BUCOR is the many numbers of inmates and the lacking of facilities inside the BUCOR. And what we wanted is for you to give us an update on the missing PDL named Mark Angelo Cataroja. This issue that being discussed not only in this House of Representatives but also in a lot of media networks had been lingering for so many weeks. And as a matter of fact, this was reported being missing last July, I think 15 or 16. So it will give us more knowledge, and we will be educated on this issue. And to give more clarity, I will be asking General Catapang or the Secretary himself to give us an update on this issue before the members of this committee will be asking their queries. So we will be answering this.
Thank you, Your Honor. And first of all, I'd like to thank the members of the House for the very warm welcome given to us. And we believe that this matter under discussion, the resolution filed, is of very utmost importance to all of us, because this reflects on the state of our correction system in the country now. And it is, I believe that the members of the committee are aware that there are many things that have to be done about our correction system in the country right now. Matters which have been ailing our system for the past decades, in fact, and not just the past few years. And these endemic problems have resulted to several what we may call coping mechanisms that have not necessarily been good for the correction system. An example would be the new Bilibid prison in Muntinlupa, which was built to house a capacity of 5,700 people, now housing more than 36,000 people. This is something that is very, very alarming, since it is, as they say, the biggest mega prison in the world, bar none. And because of this, managing this population has been horrific. There's no book written that will tell you how to manage a prison population of this number, of this magnitude. In fact, the world trend now is to restrict prison populations to less than 2,000 people. In fact, many of the experts in the world are saying that 1,500 should be the optimum number of prisoners in any single prison, while we have more than 20 times that number housed in Muntinlupa. I believe that this itself should be a cause for concern for the next few years for this Congress, as we know that if we do not address this problem sooner or later, the problems will get worse. And right now, what we are doing as a department and as a bureau, the Bureau of Corrections, is actually coping mechanisms and doing what we can with the resources given to us by the government. We always have been asking for bigger budgets and bigger items, but all of them end up in the tier 2 of the budget and never given to us properly because the government has other priorities. But even all the experts in the world, even the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, which has studied our prison system, would tell us, all of us here, that something has to be done about this mega prison that we are running right now, and which is the center of the controversy and at the center of the inquiry being pursued by the House. So with that opening statement, Mr. Chairman, I think that we can set the tone for what ails our system within the new Bilibid prison, or the national, within the Bureau of Corrections family. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary Remulla. And before we ask the Bureau of Correction to give the, I think the BUCOR chief wanted to give us some presentation, on this issue. And before we proceed on you, the chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congresswoman Ching Bernos and Congressman Bosita. So siguro, Mr. Secretary, I will reserve my questions, but I'll be asking lang, is that right that you were telling us that the present numbers of inmates in the BUCOR is 36,000?
That would be a fair estimate, Mr. Chairman.
36,000.
21,000 at the maximum security, and then we have around 3,500 in the medium
Minimum.
security, and another almost 3,000 in the minimum security.
So in other words, we have like 41,000 total for the
36,000, Mr. Chairman.
for the whole of the BUCOR or the NBP.
I mean, the whole Bureau of Corrections has around 30,000, 30,000, 50,000.
Yeah,
But NBP would have
36.
almost that number, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman. It's very hard to estimate. We have to conduct probably a new headcount
Yeah.
because we already imposed a moratorium on the bringing in of new people into the NBP because we cannot really manage them properly there anymore.
All right. Okay. I was able to get some information that the total number of the number of inmates in the whole of the BUCOR is 51,600 plus, and 36,000 is in accordance with the statement of our former colleague and now the Secretary of Justice. 36,000 din dun po sa sa NBP. 30,000.
Yeah.
Together with the 3,000 for the minimum and for the medium, which is also 3,000. Okay, maraming po salamat, Mr. Secretary, and to the officers of the BUCOR. So I will be proceeding to give the floor to General Catapang, who happens to be the Director General of the BUCOR. You have the floor, sir.
May I request for a projector so that while briefing the honorable committee, they will be able to understand it better. To the Honorable Chairperson Danilo Ramon Sobiaga Fernandez and the other equally honorable members of the Committee of Public Order and Safety, distinguished guests, our Secretary of Justice, Secretary Boying Remulla, other resource persons present here today, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. The purpose of this briefing is to inform the distinguished members of this committee about BUCOR's predicament and how BUCOR is addressing the short, medium, and long-term problems that we are now currently facing. This is in line with the our President's Philippine Development Plan. As a background, since the establishment of BUCOR since 1905, there were 7 penal farms that were established. This include San Ramon Penal Farm in Zamboanga, established as early as 1870 for Muslims and political prisoners opposed to the rule of Spain. The Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm in Puerto Princesa, established in 1904. The Davao Prison and Penal Farm, established in 1932. And the Correctional Institute for Women in Mandaluyong City, 1935. The New Bilibid Prison in Muntinlupa, 1935. The Sablayan Prison Penal Farm in Mindoro, 1954. And the Leyte Regional Prison and Penal Farm in 1973. We'd like to emphasize that the last prison and penal farm was established or constructed in 1973. And it was no less than the father of this president now, President Ferdinand Marcos. His father, Ferdinand Sr., was the one who established the last prison and penal farm. So it's already 50 years since then that we have been forgotten. And also the data will show that the ratio of correction officers versus PDL has increased. And we are now unable to effectively manage the PDL with the current strength of BUCOR personnel. The succeeding charts also show that the current number of PDL in the existing 7 prison and penal farms, including the occupancy and congestion rate, has become so unmanageable. And we have around now, as we speak, it's increasing every month of additional 500 or 300 because we release 300 to 500 every month, and yet we absorb about 600 to 1,000 new PDLs. Today, I will outline the key strategies and initiatives that we have done. This includes the short, medium, and long-term solutions and align it with existing laws, providing a roadmap for BUCOR's future. Our short-term initiatives focus on quick wins to address the pressing concerns within the span of 1 to 2 years. One of the immediate action was to promptly address the issue of overcrowding in our prisons, and we have begun temporary congestion management measures by existing or expediting the processing of PDLs who have served their sentences and eligible for release. As of this date, we have processed almost 5,000 releases through our Bilis Laya project, and we have streamlined our processing of documents for their immediate release. And we are expecting to release more within the coming months. However, it should be noted that although we release about 500 PDLs per month, we are nevertheless accepting almost 1,000 PDLs per month, new PDLs. So by the end of the year, we anticipate additional 6,000 PDLs. Another short-term action is to redistribute the severe congestion of the NBP to the less congested off-site prison and penal farms. We are exhausting all our available resources, as well as coordinating support with other agencies in order to successfully carry out the mass transfer. And lately, we have transferred about 500 PDLs in Iwahi Prison, and then we hope to transfer 3,000 to 4,000 PDLs before the end of the year. We also distributed our women PDL who are equally congested at the Correctional Institute for Women. And we hope to be able to close down the Correctional Institute for Women within 2 years. And they will be transferred to Iwahi Prison and Penal Farm. With the easing of the pandemic restrictions, we resumed the visiting privileges while strictly imposing security protocols. Last Christmas and Independence Day, we organized a visiting privilege where we allowed our PDLs in the CIW to be transported to visit their loved ones because their husbands are also confined or are in prison in the new Bilibid prison. We have also arranged for medical services for our PDLs with the help of our allies. We aim to do more of this in these coming months. And these visits of family members, loved ones, and access to health services are making a positive impact on the well-being of our confined PDLs, no matter how difficult their situation right now. As to organizational reform and enhancement and to improve the overall functioning of BUCOR, we are focusing on the following initiatives for the short term: finalization and approval of the revised BUCOR manual in compliance with RA 10575, crafting and development of policies that will support the effective management of correctional facilities, and hiring of competent lecturers to provide training and guidance and change of behavior among our correctional officer. We are also strengthening our personnel management through recruitment, promotion, attestation, and addressing attrition. We intend to promote all qualified uniformed personnel to the next higher rank while we weed out all these scalawags in the BUCOR. We are hiring and training our correction officers, and we hired 1,000 correction officers last year. We are currently hiring another batch of 1,000 this year, and we have been approved by a new batch of 1,000 next year. They will constitute the new blood for BUCOR in order to regain the trust and confidence of the Filipino people. We will have about 3,000 new correctional officers by the end of 2024, and we hope that this new blood will be the new BUCOR that will have an ingrained, or will be ingrained in them, integrity, dedication, honesty, and courage to refuse corruption. To address the short-term goals, we also are retooling our personnel for value formation. Likewise, we arrange for non-financial and financial help for our personnel, such as food subsidy, provident fund, and financial assistance, and the creation of the BUCOR cooperative to generate funds and additional assistance to BUCOR personnel to eliminate all possible reason for BUCOR to resort to corruption. Just recently, a memorandum of agreement between the Department of Agriculture and Bureau of Plant Industry and the Department of Justice and BUCOR was signed. Reformation Initiative for Sustainable Environment for Food Security, or RISE project. This goal is to develop idle lands for BUCOR into productive agricultural camps for food production and to contribute to our country's food security, while providing PDLs an opportunity to contribute to their agricultural skills as part of their reformation and preparation for reintegration to the society. President Marcos Jr. himself witnessed the signing of the agreement, being concurrently serving as the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, and has expressed his full support in making BUCOR lands a conduit for his whole of nation approach in achieving food security for our country. Next, on our medium development plan, which will encompass 3 to 5 years, we are grateful and we acknowledge the President and also our Secretary for the strategic measures in improving the life of our PDLs based on the Philippine Development Plan of 2023 to 2028. These are the following: penal facility construction and repair to improve and expand our correctional facilities, a unified penology and directions correctional system to establish a unified system of achieving efficiency in penology and correctional operations across all related agencies, which includes BJMP, BUCOR, and the provincial jails. The expansion of the e-Dalaw system to enhance our reformation mechanism and livelihood. Also identify PDLs eligible for release and expansion of access to parole and probation for certain classes of offenses. We are operationalizing a unified referral and monitoring system for our PDL so that they can go back to society after their release. To align the President's Philippine Development Plan, we have created the BUCOR Development and Modernization Plan, which will focus on the following medium-term goals. Transformation of BUCOR into a modern facility, which means reconfiguring all our prison compounds, just like in New Bilibid prison or the maximum security, which is a 10-hectare lot, which is now housing about 18,000 PDL. We will reduce that size into 2,500 capacity per compound to address congestion and make it a world-class standard. Establish a heinous crime facility pursuant to RA 11928, and we began coordination with the Department of National Defense and the AFP, asking them to allow us to swap about 3 military reservations in Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, as well as other lands to compensate for the lands of BUCOR. We would like to swap with the Department of National Defense our land in Palawan, which is just near the West Philippine Sea. We have about 28,000 hectares which they can use to help us defend our country. To optimize the BUCOR's land resources, we will implement Rule 6 of RA 10575, which grants BUCOR the utilization, control, and management, development, and most importantly, recovery of all BUCOR lands previously ceded to LGU but were abandoned or not developed after 5 years. We already identified these lands, which include Mindoro, Palawan, Davao del Norte, and Zamboanga, to reclaim and recover them. We envision converting the greater portion of the New Bilibid prison reservation into a BUCOR global city. We will explore the advantage of a public-private partnership as our modality for this project. Of course, as per guidance by our secretary, it can also be turned into a government center south of Metro Manila. And the funding that can be realized from this will be used to relocate and replicate our facilities in Muntinlupa. Looking ahead, the long-term plan is spanning to 6 to 10 years. Our focus will be the construction of the regional and the heinous crime facilities, because right now we only have 7 or 6 regional facilities across the country. Our long-term goal is to make BUCOR relevant, sustainable, and world-class, so that any PDL who will be committed to serve will be just in the placed in the regional prison and penal farm, and they don't have to go far from their relatives. Also, the construction of regional and heinous facilities, we will establish 1 male and 1 female facility per region, along with our heinous crime facility for Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. For land acquisition, we explore options such as purchasing or accepting donated properties, entering into MOA, and engaging in land swapping with DND for heinous crime facilities. Recovery of idle and undeveloped lands, which will be extended in long-term pace. As the BUCOR, we also have a property in Masungit, Tanay, Rizal, which we endeavor or would want to have it as a training center for the long run, because we don't have any training center like the PMA or the PNPA. That's why we are also having a problem in our organization. Our correctional officers and our officers do not have the proper training of handling PDL. As to the facilities construction, our facilities will be technologically driven. We'll use artificial intelligence and canine services to minimize human error in the control and management of PDLs. A complete regional and hinge facilities will have the following structures: the essential facilities and other amenities needed. And then also we have the supporting main facilities will be administrative buildings and command centers and other facilities needed. We need adequate service, utility, and sanitation facilities. And we will implement advanced automation and surveillance system to enhance the security and monitoring capabilities of these regional facilities. This chart is a summary of the estimated costing over time. And we think that if we are able to manage our resources, these things can be doable. As the regionalization of BUCOR progresses onward with all its lands efficiently utilized for safekeeping of and reformation of PDLs, and when its sustainable food productivity will have been put in place, we shall see BUCOR to become a recognized food security basket for the country. We want BUCOR to be relevant and sustainable. In conclusion, the short, medium, and long-term plans of BUCOR outlined in our direction to address the pressing issues, modernize our correctional facilities, and ensure a more efficient and humane correction system. This concludes our briefing. We look forward to your guidance and support because we cannot accomplish this without your help, Mr. Senators or our congressmen, honorable congressman, because you have the power of the purse. As we embark on this transformative journey, together we can build a stronger and more just correctional system for the Philippines. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you so much, General Catapang. Before we proceed, the Chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Renante Arrogancia of the 3rd District of Quezon and Congressman Ambrosio C. Cruz Jr. of the 5th District of Bulacan. Welcome, sirs.